Joyous time zones, my Sakonauts. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as the Witch of Tylwyth Teg, and welcome to the Magic Monday Witching Hour. Today we're going to talk about guardian spirits. All right. If we haven't met before, I'd like to welcome you to my channel. It is very nice to meet you. And if you have been here before, it's so lovely to see you back. I super love you guys. I would like to start a Monday morning crown chakra meditation. Are you feeling unwell? Out of spoons. This should be especially good for sufferers of depression and those having trouble seeing beauty in the world. Sit with your hands in your lap and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it for a moment. As you let it out completely through your mouth, let go of tension from the night and the grogginess of the morning. Take another deep breath in and imagine you are breathing in pure love. As you breathe out, imagine you are breathing out forgiveness. Take a third deep breath in, and as you do so, imagine a light coming in at the top of your head. It enters at the top of your head and spreads down over your face, neck, and shoulders. This cleansing light now expands along your back, down your legs, and out through your feet. It is as if cleansing light is a constant flow of soothing energy entering from your head and passing out through the arches of your feet. You can now manipulate that light into energy. Hold the light at the top of your head and watch as it turns a violet color, a purple with more red than blue. It flickers weakly at first, but with your effort, with your powers, you can provide energy to the light. As you funnel that energy into the light, it grows in size and brightness, revealing a dark flower bud. What condition is it in? How does the flower react to your touch? I encourage you to coax the flower into growing. How much effort does it take to do so? The violet light flickers again, but the petals peel open, spreading like fingers splayed apart from each other. Feel the tendons stretch in your hands, in your petals, in your mind. The more power you siphon in, the more beautiful the flower becomes, revealing that it is a violet lotus. The middle of the flower is dark, cluttered with more petals. Using your mind, gently pull each petal open one by one, and the violet will lighten in color. One by one. Be tender. With your attentive touch, eventually you reveal the golden heart, and it glows like the day. Enjoy the splendor that is your mind now. Enjoy your handiwork. Take one more deep breath in and begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. When you are ready, open your eyes. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, that was a crown chakra meditation to start your week. Next up, we will do a tarot card reading for the week. And also, I have a guest, the wonderful Lilith of Frogs, who is still doing her makeup.
You smudged it earlier by accident.
All right. So I do a 3-card reading. I am using the Tarot of the Divine.
Okay.
Every card is a masterpiece. Would you like to introduce yourself, Lily?
I'm Lily, Sako's niece.
Yeah. What is your relationship with witchcraft?
It's there.
It's there.
It's there.
You're agnostic? Is that what's going on?
Is it what?
Agnostic?
Sort of.
You know it's there, but you don't really...
I dabble into it.
Okay.
It's combining multiple religions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's kind of like what I do is just kind of combine stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
That is what I do as well. I kind of like take piecemeal from other religions and work it into my craft.
I guess. It's like, I still agree with Buddhism and witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
So it just...
Usually there's a pantheon that you kind of like subscribe to with witchcraft.
I'm not a subscriber to anybody but my own name.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And it's just it feels necessary.
All right. Yeah, it makes sense. All right. We got some reversed cards today. We got the 10 of Cups reversed. We got the 9 of Swords, which isn't great. And then we got the Knight of Swords reversed. So, in my opinion, just taking a glance at these cards, we're kind of hitting a stagnant, unappreciative week.
Yeah.
And things might seem dark. But don't worry, like, this too shall pass. Mercury just went into retrograde, and there was a solar eclipse like yesterday. So, yeah. So energies, and there was a new moon. So the energies over this weekend were nuts, and it wasn't a nice time for anybody.
So I really fumbled yesterday then.
Yeah. So it's going to be more of the same. So again, just bolster yourself. If you're going to be stagnant, right? If you're going to like not, what's the word I'm looking for? Not pursue any anything really. I want to say that you should like kind of hunker down and brave the storm. And then next week, maybe we can we can actually start doing shit.
Yeah, no, this means I definitely are. Wow. And
All right. I'm sorry, honey?
And I said, I know I did too.
All right. Now for horoscopes. I'll do a general reading, and then for shits and giggles, I'll do yours specifically.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
April 24th, 2023. We have to hold on to the bright side as much as possible, which plays into the tarot reading beautifully. The emotional moon works with expansive Jupiter, increasing joy and adding a dose of luck. Unfortunately, once the moon squares confusing Neptune at 8:15 Eastern, we might lose sight of our earlier optimism. Luna looks for comfort as she enters her home sign of Cancer. That said, she also struggles with deep Pluto, making things seem worse or more intense than they really are. Don't let fears block out the blessings. You are
I am a Capricorn.
Capricorn.
New Year's Day Capricorn at that.
Mm,
That first January.
yeah. Your comfort zone might have you feeling less interesting. Spending time in your routine allows you to have consistency and stability in your life, but a new acquaintance with a more daring lifestyle may make you worry that you're boring. It's all about perspective. While you're wishing that you were more exciting and spontaneous, the other person may wish that they had a foundation that you do. The grass is always greener on the other side, so find ways to appreciate what you have.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Mm,
It's a little too close to home, man. Little
yeah.
too, especially with everything going on. A little too close.
Well, I think this is a good week to work with guardian spirits. Kind of, it's part of my ward system, which means like that I use guardian spirits to kind of like, guard my rooms, guard my house.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I have it all written out, but it's all scattered, so I'm going to see how much I remember off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, first off, not every spirit is good. It's just like people, right? You can't count on the spirit being good.
Mm-hmm.
So, you kind of like give an interview of sorts,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of weed out like the doppelgangers and the ones wearing, grandma's clothes, as it were. The spirits that are like, oh yeah, I'm totally grandma, but it's some kind of negative spirit.
Yeah.
So usually, like, let's say you're working with the dead and you're in a cemetery. There is always a guardian of the cemetery. So if you're going to take dirt or you're going to pay homage to the dead or whatever you're going to do in the cemetery, I strongly recommend bringing an offering for the guardian spirit.
Bring like an orange.
An orange would be good. Flowers work, money works. Each guardian will have like something that they like to be offered to them. Sometimes I will scope out ahead of time. Like I won't enter the cemetery. I'll kind of like, have a little chat with the guardian spirit, and I'll figure out like how I should proceed.
Right on. That makes a lot of sense.
So there are a couple of ways that you can conscript spirits. One is you can just do a like a call out for any spirit to come, but you have to weed them out. More recently, I conscripted Kali to send a spirit. Now, Kali is not necessarily good, but she's not necessarily evil. Some people view her as an evil god. she is a goddess of death and destruction and like a bunch of other stuff. So I recognize her in my daily life, and I asked her to send a guardian spirit. She sent a spirit who said that they will not prevent destruction, but they will guard the temple. So they like tea and they like being the center of attention. So I made a shrine just for them, and I have tea with them every time I put up my blanket fort.
The blanket was awesome stuff.
Yeah, I try to set it up like a temple.
Mm-hmm.
And also a work area. So my work and my craft are very closely related. I talk to Thoth if I'm writing. I talk to Saraswati if I'm doing like creative stuff or music or so like I kind of dabble with gods, and I think of them as people to work with and less like, oh, you know, oh God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't worship them, is what I'm trying to say.
It really does. Don't worship people. Well,
Don't worship. I say don't worship gods, but because in chaos magic there is no dogma, so I try very hard not to have a dogma. It gets dicey with Buddhism because that's how I live my life.
I get
You
it.
know, so I use Buddhism both as a, like, I talk to Shinto gods, which is dicey because the history between the Nichiren Buddhism and Shinto Buddhism is really fucked up.
I've heard stories.
There was a massive excommunication in the 90s where the priests were being exalted, and there was a Dai Gohonzon, which is like a piece of paper that Nichiren wrote himself.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been copies handmade and distributed throughout the world, and everybody who is Buddhist has one of these pieces of paper. Now, the SGI believe, or Soka International, for SGI for short, they so they exalt the piece of paper, and they believe that all Gohonzons are created equal.
They are.
So kind of like a Bible, I guess.
Yeah.
Like there isn't a more powerful Bible than another. So now, like, there can be history. Ooh, you okay?
Yeah, I just heard something outside.
Oh.
Oh. Sorry, it was my rent.
Ah.
No, I'm sorry. I love living alone.
Okay. So I can walk you through how I bring spirits, and how I did both Gorlak, the one that Kali sent, and Arjax, who I just like did a call out and ended up with a dragon. And dragons usually like to hoard things. So this one likes money. So I have a bunch of money on my altar to kind of like appease them. And because I give them so much attention, they watch everywhere that I showed them, as opposed to like, I just want you to protect this area. But if you know, this exists and you should know that this exists. And maybe you want to cover Greg too. Oh,
Cover the
sorry. I have people messaging me. Or you can do a call out. So first you want to have, I strongly recommend having like a small decorative statue or an object of some kind to hold the spirit. Cleanse and then magically charge said object. Set your intention. The intention is to summon a spirit to inhabit the thing and watch your shit and prevent bad things from happening. So once you bring the guardian in, you kind of show them all the areas that they are to watch. And then, so carry your guardian around the space that they will protect. And then to make sure he or they stay, I use a grounding spell, like a earth. I use an earth sigil to anchor it with energy from the earth, and I create a bridge so that they can go from the spirit world to the physical world. If the guardian awakens, because sometimes it will be just like a servitor, they will do exactly what you tell them and nothing more. But if they awaken, they will have a personality. I recommend having a conversation with them in that they will want an offering of some kind. Gorlak, for instance, just wants attention. So I oblige. I have no problem with that.
Right on.
Let's see. If the guardian awakens, keep a good relationship with the occasional offerings. Yeah. So, some people summon the dead. They, like my roommate, for instance, talks to her grandmother, who passed away when she was 7. She revolves her practice around her dead grandmother, and I don't fault anyone for doing ancestor work.
Right on.
So what is your experience with spirits? Have you had experience with spirits?
I've heard my great grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Back, I lived in Florida with Grandpa, and that kind of freaked me. And that's like the most recent one I can think of.
What did she say? Like,
all I heard was hello in an elderly woman's voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard quiet walking around, and I know it wasn't Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 17.
Mm.
It was really creepy to me.
Mm. Well, I like to give them like a place to be so that stuff like that doesn't happen, because I'm uncomfortable with or I have a friend who I protected. They didn't like people watch or spirits watching them while they slept, which I can understand. Like, wasn't a negative spirit, was just interested in their you know daily doings, and protected them while they. I think they protected them while they slept, but she was like, I don't want the spirit there, and I don't want spirits affecting my daughter, who was an infant at the time. So I cleansed the whole house, and then I invited a iguana spirit, or a spirit in general, to inhabit an iguana statue. I like to use predators if I can, um, because predators are more aggressive than, say, an iguana. But that's what she had. Hmm?
Iguanas would be predators, though. I mean, they fall out of the trees in Florida,
That's true.
so.
So I was like, iguana is probably for protection, like, will probably work.
Mhm.
They'll at least watch and, like, give you a report. Hydrate or dihydrate.
Hey, listen. I know I need to be
Everybody
like
needs
10,
more
but
water.
I drink like 10 of those a day.
That is good. All right.
Hey, so like I'm trying to lose all this weight too.
Mhm.
Hey, the more water I drink, the more it comes off.
Yeah, well. All right. So, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
I'd say this has ran really smoothly and a little too accurately.
Well, I hope it helps.
It
And
made me realize how badly I fumbled last night too.
well, it's a good time to take care of yourself. If you're not gonna, like, go out into the world and like get shit done, because the cards say you're not gonna wanna.
Oh, it's a week.
So self-care, whatever that means to you, self-care.
Self-care, call him, got it.
Hmm. There's a lot of self-care in witchcraft. In fact, there's a lot of methods to get magic done that involve self-care. Like, if a bath with like candles and magical bubble stuff, bath bombs and whatnot in the bath. And I like to do ritual work in the bathtub. That partly because in my domain I use a bathtub to do witchy stuff. So when I get in the headspace to do witchcraft, I do the thing, and then when I come back, I'm already in the bath. Like,
Nice.
when, so I find witchcraft to be if I'm like actively doing a spell, I find that it does drain me. So like I'll take a nap, I'll eat something tasty, I'll I'll do like a spa day, you know, where I put like conditioner in my hair or do my nails, you know, put on makeup.
Self-love.
That's self-love. Because it makes me feel better, you know. So I feel like there is not enough conversation about the fallout of doing spell work. I would like to think that that like people who do spell work would just like stumble on it and they would, you know, make a decision based on that. My roommate never tires. She has copious amounts of energy. She doesn't feel like she feels the fallout, but it's not so much that she feels like she needs to sleep or eat or anything like that. Hydrate, etc. Have a beer. She's just the ever ready bunny. The Energizer bunny, rather. I am not that guy. I require the nap. I require the spa day. I require the tasty food and maybe an alcoholic drink to kind of unwind.
Some of my worst decisions have been sober.
Maybe that's something to work on.
Oh, I'm after like midnight and set boundaries.
You're okay.
I'm
All right. I will wrap up. If you like this video at any point, I encourage you to hit the like button. And if you want to see more streams like this one, I advise that you subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube actually notifies you when I go live. And I will catch you on the flip side.